If you walk through the streets of Pompeii today, all you will hear is the crunch of gravel under tourist boots and the buzzing of cicadas. It is a ghost town, a city frozen in stone. We are used to seeing it as gray, dead, and silent. But close your eyes, take a breath. In 79 AD, this place didn't smell of dust and death. It smelled of fresh bread, garum fish sauce, expensive perfume, and gladiator sweat. This wasn't an open-air museum. It was the Las Vegas of the Roman Empire, a city of sin, luxury, and pleasure, where life was overflowing, unaware that its clock had already started counting down. Thanks to modern neural networks and historical data, we are wiping away 2,000 years of ash. We aren't just restoring buildings, we are bringing back the atmosphere. We are going to let you walk these streets, exactly as the Pompeians did, just hours before the end of the world. Welcome to the last day of Pompeii. It is 8 a.m., August 24th. You are standing on the Via dell'Abbondanza, the city's main artery. Forget the empty stone boxes you've seen in photos. Look at the walls. They aren't naked. They are screaming. Every inch is covered in bright red and black paint. This is the social network of antiquity. Here are election slogans. Vote for Gaius Julius Polybius. He bakes good bread. Here are announcements for gladiator fights, declarations of love, and crude insults. The city is talking to you from every side. The traffic here is so dense you can barely move. Carts are banned during the day, so the street is choked with people. Slaves carry water, merchants shout, and wealthy matrons float by in palanquins. Can you smell that? It is thick and sharp. That is the Thermopolium ancient fast food. Here it is, on the corner. AI has reconstructed the food counters. Hot beans, wine diluted with water and spices, and the omnipresent garum, a fermented fish sauce that soaked into the clothes of every resident. Pompeii was a city that loved to eat and drink. Notice the sidewalks. They are high, raised above the road. Do you know why? Because the road is also a sewer. Residents hop across the street using special stepping stones to avoid dirtying their sandals in the city filth. It is a city of contrasts. Marble statues towering over trash, and the scent of roses mixing with the stench of waste. But Pompeii had another side, one hidden behind high walls. Let's step inside the House of the Faun. The noise of the street instantly vanishes. Here, it is cool. The sound of water in the fountain, the glint of mosaics under your feet, the famous battle of Alexander the Great composed of 1,000,000 tiny stones. Here, Rome's elite rested from the heat and politics. They drank wine from glass goblets that cost more than the life of the slave serving them. And now, let's go lower, into the shadows of the alleyways. This is the Lupanar, the city brothel. Cramped, dark, and stifling. Stone beds topped with thin mattresses. On the walls, frescoes that leave nothing to the imagination. This is a menu of services. Here, Pompeii shows its true face, a city thirsty for pleasure at any cost. None of these people, not the patrician in his garden, nor the girl in the cramped room of the brothel, are looking at the mountain towering on the horizon. To them, Vesuvius is just a mountain. A green, harmless mountain where the best grapes grow. They do not know they are living at the foot of a loaded gun. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Life is going on as usual. And suddenly, the sound. It wasn't just thunder. It was a crack, as if the sky itself had split open. A sound so powerful it ruptured eardrums. Look up. There is what Pliny the Younger would later describe as a Mediterranean pine. A massive column of smoke, ash, and rock shoots into the stratosphere to a height of 30 kilometers. The sun disappears instantly. In a single second, day turns to night. But this isn't the darkness of night. It is the darkness of suffocation. This is where the panic begins. The AI reconstruction shows chaos on the forum. People run, covering their heads with togas, pillows, baskets. Dogs howl. Birds fall from the sky, suffocated mid-flight. This was the first stage of the trap. Pumice is light, but there is so much of it. Meter by meter, it buries the doors. It blocks the exits. Roofs begin to crack under the weight. Those who decided to hide in basements to wait it out are making a fatal mistake. They are walling themselves in. Hours have passed. The city has plunged into a surreal nightmare. The air has become hot, and thick like syrup. It smells of sulfur, the scent of rotten eggs that makes eyes water and throats constrict. Those who didn't flee immediately are now trapped. The streets have vanished, buried under a 3-meter layer of stone. To move, you have to walk at the level of the second-story windows. Look at this family. They are carrying gold, statues of gods, heavy jewelry, greed and hope fought with fear until the very end. They thought they would return. They thought it was just a terrible storm. But Vesuvius was preparing its final strike. The next morning brought silence. Those who survived the falling stones and collapsing roofs might have thought the worst was over. They were wrong. From the peak of the mountain, a pyroclastic surge breaks loose. It is an avalanche of superheated gas, ash, and rock. It moves at 100 kilometers per hour. The temperature inside is 300 degrees Celsius. You cannot outrun it. You cannot hide from it. In this moment, time for Pompeii stops forever. This is not a slow death by suffocation, as is often believed. It is thermal shock. The brain boils instantly. Muscles contract in a final spasm, forcing bodies into the so-called pugilist pose. Death arrives faster than the brain can process the pain. A mother shielding her child, a couple holding hands, a dog trying to chew through its chain, all of them frozen in a split second. Volcanic ash coated their bodies, creating perfect cocoons that would preserve their shape for thousands of years. Archaeologists in the 19th century poured plaster into the voids in the ash. They didn't see skeletons. They saw faces. They saw folds in clothing. They saw fear. Look at this man. We call him the seated man. He covered his face with his hands, resigned to the inevitable. He is not a hero or a villain. He is just a resident of a city who loved fast food, wrote silly things on walls, and hoped tomorrow would be a good day. Pompeii isn't a story about rocks. It is a mirror. 2,000 years ago, these people considered themselves the pinnacle of civilization. They built aqueducts, created complex laws, and believed their world was unshakable. But nature needed only 24 hours to grind their universe into dust. Standing on these ruins today, restored through technology, we hear an echo. It is a reminder of just how fragile our own world is. History hides thousands more cities that vanished in an instant. Carthage, Troy, Tenochtitlan. Which great city of the past do you want to resurrect next? Tell us in the comments. Perhaps your choice will be our next journey through time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the history we bring back to life. See you in the past.